Okay, here we are. We're here today. I'm so excited for this video, for this conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome and thanks for clicking to watch this video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. So today, you can see that there's literally another face on the screen. I'm tag teaming with a fellow YouTuber, Pathway UK, to bring to you an exciting topic. We're going to discuss two popular study destinations, the UK and the US. We'll be, bantering and talking to figure out which of both countries is actually better and easier to study in, or for international students. So we'll probably just talk about the admission process, visa process, and a bunch of other things like that to kind of discover which country is easier to study in, which has more opportunities, and which is probably like easier to navigate and all that. So over to you. Introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, Shidu's subscribers. My name is Irewande, and I have a community, I would say, where I just share, we just share things on studying in the UK, working in the UK, and living in the UK. So I have been through all this process, and I just share one or two things from my experience. Hopefully, it blesses someone out there or someone who is looking for this information. So if you want to know more about studying, working, and living in the UK, you can follow me on, join the community on Facebook and on Instagram at My Pathway UK. And you can also follow me on YouTube and learn more about studying, working, and basically doing life here in the UK.
Okay, awesome. Okay, you know what? We're just going to dive right in. And if you're watching, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're watching without subscribing. So let's go, okay? So I think let's just start out with the educational system, right? Let's probably talk about ranking and things like that. So I know when it comes to the educational system, US has top universities in the world. You go on any ranking, QS ranking, is it like Shanghai, just a bunch of rankings, you definitely see some US institutions like MIT, Harvard, Ivy League schools basically, and a lot of other schools like that in the rankings. And what about the UK? I mean, I'll let you talk for the UK.
Okay, for UK, obviously, I feel UK comes second to US when it comes to university rankings, because I feel there are more US universities topping the charts than UK universities. However, this is not to say that the UK do not have one of the best universities. I mean, the first university ever established in the world was Oxford University, and it was here in the UK. So we have schools like Oxford University, Cambridge, Peria, UCL, Lancaster, Bates, a whole lot of universities. I can go on and on and on, because there's a whole lot of universities in the UK that are actually topping the charts. And the only downside with UK universities when it comes to educational system is that your course of study is not flexible. So if you've chosen to study a course, you would actually be given an outline of the course you would be doing. Now, I think this would be for master's degree, because we both have done master's degree in our respective countries. So we'll stick to master's degree here. So for a master's degree in the UK, you would actually be given the course of, you would actually be given the course you will be studying here in the UK. So you might have 8 to 10 courses usually, and you would have to do those 8 to 10 courses. But I think in the US, you can pick, you can match. I think they have majors and minors, and
I feel like that's more for undergraduate students. Undergraduates have majors, minors, and things like that. Of course, there'll be required courses, but for masters, a lot of times, I mean, at least I can speak for my program. We had required courses that we had to take in order to graduate, but we also had elective. My program, I had about 20 electives. I could just pick a few from, just to kind of make up for my classes. And then I was probably select a particular track. I selected an international education track, and I was able to select courses to kind of meet that certificate requirement. So I think it depends on the program you're studying. But a lot of times, you have required courses, and then you have elective courses that you can select from. So
yeah, I think in the UK it's the same. You have your majors and you have elective, but the elective is just one each semester or max two.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are limited. Like you
Yeah.
already know the courses you would do from the get go. But another thing in
Mhm.
the UK, class sizes are always like small. I
Yeah.
think the highest I've been in a class would be probably up to 50. I don't think I've been in a class where we're more than 50 really, but the class
Wow.
sizes are quite small. And here in the UK, they have most universities would have, I don't know if most universities do, but the two universities I have been to here in the UK,
Mhm.
they have then services like skills, study skills. So that study skills is just to help you sharpen your writing or help you understand the course, but not really help you understand the course better, help you understand like your assignment brief better. So you
Yeah.
don't have to pay people to write your assignment for you. You don't have to pay anybody to coach you. All you need to do is just book an appointment with study skills, or if you feel you're not doing well in your course of study, just take your feedback to study skills and then they will help you because the way they write in the UK is quite different. You have to know how to write,
Mhm.
read and think critically and have more cohesive thoughts.
Yeah.
So you just go to study skills and then they can help you like sharpen all of that. And that's in the case that the study duration is short. So in the
Mhm.
UK, master's degree is just for 1 year. Like most master's degree in the UK is 1 year. Hardly you would
I'm
see
jealous.
a master's degree that is for 2 years. And that 1 year is not really 1 year. If you would calculate all the time you spend in school and doing your schoolwork, it's probably like 9 months. So basically that's what I would say for like the educational system here in the UK. So I think if you're planning on going for a PhD, I would say maybe the UK has a more shorter like duration because master's degree is for 1 year, a PhD is like 3 years, so making it 4 years. But I think in the US is like it's long.
So I think many master's programs in the US are like for 2 years, although there are a few programs that are like for a year. But I kind of personally just prefer the 2 years because it gives me time to kind of transition into the environment. I'm not rushed through the educational system, If I want to kind of search for a job afterwards, I have the opportunity of like gaining some internship experiences while in school, like grad school. So my program was 2 years. A lot of people I know their master's program, they're typically 2 years, and PhD generally could be for like 3 years or from 3 to like 5 years, depending on the institution, depending on your program, or if you want to probably like do a master's alongside. So you can get admitted directly into like a PhD program here into for some programs here in the US, and you just get a master's along the way. So it really depends on your program and maybe your research focus and a bunch of things like that. And I think something that you were mentioning earlier about support services, like you said something about study skills. I know that here in the US, like we have like basically they call them maybe student support services or maybe like student affairs. Generally, like that would probably be the units. It's a really big field here. I mean, that's a field I work in. We support students, because the academics is not the only important thing. You need support, right? So maybe you're struggling, like you could go to like the library. There'll be somebody that will help you, even with like editing some parts of your assignment or anything you want to do, maybe even citations and references, because those are like really important things here as well. And yeah, so they have a lot of support services for students, even when it comes to like mental health support related services, because students go through a lot here.
Yeah, I think they have same here in the in
Mhm.
the UK too. Like we even have career support and
Yeah.
career support. They even support you 3 years after you graduate. So if you
Oh, that's
graduate three
nice.
years, yeah,
Hmm.
within 3 years of your graduation, they can help you with interview prep, help you with
Yeah.
your personal statements, like help you review your CV,
Hmm.
like just help you in getting the job. Yeah, and I think most students do not maximize the opportunity. I don't know why people just like to pay for unnecessary service that your tuition fee that you paid millions for, the service are already in. Like, I don't see a reason why international students in the UK
Hmm.
pay some recruitment agency to help them get a job or help them with their CV because the university you went to,
Yeah.
they have that services for you for the next 3 years after you graduate. And in short, if you join the alumni association
Yeah.
once you graduate, they have some perks that like comes with all of those things. So I don't know, people just don't have enough information. They just like to waste money.
Oh
That's
my goodness.
my conclusion. Just like to- I mean, your university
Yeah.
is obligated to help you look for job or not help you look for job or assist you in your job
Assist you in the
search for
process.
the
Yeah.
next 3 years like for free.
Wow.
You have like tools to, like, there's this tool my school have where you can put your CV and know that if, okay, let me simplify it this way. So most companies in the UK, when they are recruiting people, the first step of selecting a CV is actually done through AI. So there's this machine they put everybody's CV in. So
Yeah.
they have some keywords they are looking for. So that machine will be the first person to first the people that are more relevant.
With you out.
So in my university actually has that software where you have access to it for 3 years after your graduation, where you can always put your CV in, and it will tell you if that AI can read your CV and tell you where to improve, where not to improve. You can actually talk to somebody who will be your career coach, help you. You really don't need to pay people if you studied in the UK, because you have career support for the next 3 years after your graduation. So I think why people look for unnecessary agency or Panda.
Yeah, I mean, I think the US is kind of similar, right, in that regards and everything. But I don't know if the support they provide is up to 3 years. Or all I know is that while we're in school and maybe even sometimes after graduation, like we have this career services office where you can even set up a one-on-one where they will sit down with you, prepare you for interviews.
Yeah. Yeah,
Help you with
yeah.
your
My university, the two universities that I attended, they offer you that service for the next 3 years.
Okay, see, I mean, I don't know now. I see a lot of similarities actually, like in the educational system, but there's still a
I
bit
think
of
it comes with the anomaly
association.
package.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, comes with the
gotcha.
anomaly.
All right, we'll make our decision later which one is easier and better. But hopefully, you can already take note of some like similarities and differences to start
Yeah.
making ample decisions. Right.
Mhm.
So let's actually move on. Like maybe let's talk about admission requirements, the admission process basically, because I know that the reason why some people might run away from the US is just because of the admission process, having to like
Yeah,
evaluate
people
your
think it's more
transcript.
tedious. I actually think it's
Yeah.
more tedious.
I think so too,
I
actually.
think I
I
think
don't
you.
know. Should I be admitting that? No, I'm not going to admit that.
Yeah, but I think why I say so is because I actually went to one of the best universities here in the UK, and
Okay.
in the world is like number 130 something, or highly ranked. Like when you
Mhm.
count 1 to 200, you count the university I went to.
Yeah.
Now, the admission process for my university was not that hard, to be very honest. It was just personal statements. I didn't even need test of English. But to be fair, I already studied here in the UK, so probably I didn't need test of English. And I just needed my CV and then my university transcript and certificate and
Hmm.
2 references. And I think that was it.
That
And I
was
got,
it. Did you write a personal statement?
yes, I did.
Yeah. I know the admission requirement for me, though, was like I didn't write TOEFL, but that was because I deliberately looked for schools that did not require me to like write TOEFL. TOEFL is like this test of English, like that do not require English proficiency test. And then I avoided writing GRE as well because I deliberately looked for programs that did not require GRE, which is graduate record examination. That a lot of schools might or programs might require you to take it. I know a lot of schools are waiving it now though, but still many programs still require it, especially if you want funding. And transcripts. Some were asking for transcript evaluation. Some had you have to send it directly from your institution. Have like this WES evaluate it. I deliberately applied to a school that was accepting unofficial transcripts because I didn't want to do that. So I agree that the admission process can be tedious because imagine the time it took me to kind of sit down and start looking for schools that that do not have those requirements. Right? It was a long time basically, but at the
I
same
think,
time, huh?
oh, continue.
Yeah, I said, but at the same time, I found those schools. So I think it ultimately depends on the institution. Yeah, every institution has a different approach, which I think in the UK, a lot of institutions follow similar, admission process, I guess. But in the US, you really have
I
to
think
take
some
note.
universities in the UK actually require GRE. For
Oh,
instance,
really?
if you want to do like
Interesting.
an MBA program in
Yeah.
Oxford, Cambridge, I
Mm,
think Imperial and UCL, you would
yeah.
actually need to write GMAT or GRE. So there are some courses in some top universities in the UK that actually do require, and most universities, honestly, they don't mind. They just want your money as an international student.
Do they require
Because
transcript evaluation? Oops. Oh,
do they require?
like transcript evaluation.
No, they don't. The transcript is fine. And I think maybe why UK is not difficult is because
Mm-hmm.
technically in Nigeria, we're meant to be following the British system of
Mm,
education. So I
yeah,
think that's why we have some similarities. Like if you're from Nigeria and if you're
that's
coming to
true.
the UK, I think that's why they have some similarities. And again, in the UK, I don't think there's much funding. I think funding is quite difficult in the UK. However, if you are considered intelligent or you
Mhm.
have track record academic excellence,
Yeah,
you use that to your favor because UK they love academic. If you can just they sense academic excellence like this, they'll be
yes,
offering you all the scholarships that is not on their websites. When you tell them I cannot pay and you have a good track record of maybe work experience and
yeah,
academic excellence, the scholarship you didn't know that they had, you
existed.
just start seeing them offering it to you. Now, what they mean by academic excellence or um nice or maybe good work experience. So, for example, if you have about a year max,
Yeah.
like sorry, a year minimum work experience, know that some universities will want to offer you scholarship and
Mhm.
have that work experience in a relevant field relating to your course of study and try to draw how that experience will help you and help the university during your course of study. And then for academic excellence, if you have a first class or you have a GPA. Okay, most Nigerian universities, I think the GPA is always over 5. So
Yeah.
if you have a GPA over 4, that's 4.0 over and above, not below now and above, because I don't know, some people is the year reverse and above. So if you have 4.0, 4.1,
Mhm.
4.5 and above, that's sign of exceptional student or exceptional talent sort
Got
of
you.
that's what points to it. So all these terminologies they are not hard, just basic, not really basic because to be honest, it's not easy to have a GPA of 4.0 and above. But if you
Mm.
have a GPA of 4.0 and above, even if you have a 2-1, there are some
Yeah.
2-1 that if you package it well and you have work experience, you'll probably get funding. But in the UK, it's hard to get 100% scholarship. But you can get 50% off. I've seen people get up to 60% off their tuition fee, even 80% off. But UK, you just have to pay something if it's the university. But there are some people that for PhD, you can actually get scholarship and you can get stipend with scholarship.
Yeah, I think funding in the US, there's a lot of funding opportunities from scholarships to assistantships to fellowships. I think that was one of the reasons why I decided to apply here, amongst other reasons. Because for me, I didn't graduate in the first class, and when I UK schools, it seemed like they, like you said, academic excellence. They want high flying, high achieving candidates. Of course, I was high achieving, okay, but I probably wasn't as high achieving as they wanted. But in the US, you have a lot of opportunities such that even if you don't have like 4.0 or something, there are assistantships that you can apply to that are known as like administrative assistantships that you work with like maybe student affairs offices or like in administrative roles on campus. So they have all those opportunities. For instance, now like maybe you could work in like a residence hall as like a graduate assistant or with like a particular office, maybe your cares office or basically different office. You could even work in an academic department but related, maybe work with a particular, well, in like an administrative role. Or something, maybe like a marketing graduate assistant or something like that, and they'll pay
So
your tuition.
how long did it take you to get your admission when you applied?
How long? It took me, so every school was different, but a lot of schools I applied to them in December, and I got like one. I got an offer in February. I got one January. Let's say 2 months, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. One
I think
school
for
decided to
you,
take their sweet time, and when I had gotten admission and everything has been settled, that's when they were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you go." I'm like, thank you. So
I think for UK, basically, you can get admission within 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
Within
there are
3
some
weeks.
schools that reviewed though. They tell you that they get back to you within 2 to 3 weeks once all your documents are complete. Once you submit everything here in the US, so I think it depends on the school and your program, but I would say give it like 2 months or 3 months depending
Anyway,
on the
that will take
institution.
us to visa process. So how
Oh,
was the visa process like for you?
okay. Application, everything. All right. Visa process for me was a bit hectic because there was like a lot to do. You even have to interview again. So you have to like get your school has to send one. They call it I-20. Your school has to send it to you, and then with that what's it called, I-20, then you now apply online for a visa, and then you have to go to like a bank like a GT Bank that's I'm talking about Nigeria now. You have to go to like, I think GT Bank is the only bank that even accepts like the visa fee. You have to pay, and after you now pay, you now have to apply again, go to another website to book an interview. And then after you now book that interview or whatever, oh, you also still need to pay, they call it service fee on another website. And if you're like from certain West African countries or like, yeah, you can't pay that fee online. You have to either use Western Union or send like money order or whatever abroad or things like that. So you have to pay that service fee again. And then of course you take everything, you book an appointment, you take everything to the embassy with your proof of documents, like supporting evidence, basically like bank statements, your admission letter, whatever, just a lot of documents like that. And then you interview, and at the interview, that's when they'll tell you whether you have this visa or you don't have this visa. So
Really? On the spot?
yes, on the spot. There are sometimes they put you on administrative processing. That's if you don't, maybe they're not sure about you or all your documents are not complete. But I knew literally my interview did not even take up to like 3 minutes. It was very short on the spot. They just asked me like three questions. I had it easy, okay. Some people don't have it that easy. And because I guess I had all my documents and I didn't look like I looked innocent.
You look like you don't want to go. You want to go around there
Exactly.
like a legal immigrant.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think
Yeah.
for the UK is I think it's quite different, but I think you mentioned S1. I think for UK it's called CAS. So we use CAS. So when your school sends your CAS to you, then you
Mm,
put your documents together and apply. So I
yeah.
think for the UK, if you want to, okay, no, I think these are the documents I use. Like these are the documents I use to apply.
Yeah.
So you use your CAS to apply, your proof of funds,
Mhm.
your birth certificate, because okay, you need your birth certificate because your birth certificate is what they call proof of relationship to sponsor. So my sponsor was my dad. So obviously to prove he's my dad's my birth certificate and his identity card. So it could be your parents' passport or driver's license. Anything
Yeah.
to identify them as a person and just to confirm their name with what is on your birth certificate. So yes, and then my passport, and I think that's all. Yeah, I think that's all. So it's just like because your class already, the university issuing a class means that
Mhm.
the university have done all the thorough checks. They know you have everything you need.
Yeah.
So you don't need proof of English or all those things when you're applying for your visa. So you
Exactly.
just basically need your CAS, your proof of fund. If someone is sponsoring you, your
Mhm.
proof of relationship to that person's ID card, and a letter from that person basically saying, "I promise to sponsor this person.
Mm.
This person will not be stranded," and things like that.
Did you interview?
Yeah, you don't do it. I didn't do interview, but some
Oh,
people usually do interview, which is a
that's nice.
on rare occasions. But I didn't do interview. And the
Wow.
waiting time is after 3 weeks. And in the UK, UK is all about the money. We have what they call priority visa, which you get a reply after 5 to 7 working days, and we have super priority visa where you get a reply within 24 hours. But I
Wait.
think now they've stopped the priority visa and the super priority visa. I think they suspended it because
Yes.
of the whole thing going on right now. They want to process people from, other regions. I don't want to start mentioning because of YouTube censorship. I don't know. But other parts of, what is happening in the world in European areas. So I
Yeah.
think testing them like refugee to come to the UK. So I think
Mhm.
they stop all those like super priority and priority visa for now. But I'm sure very soon they'll bring back the parity and super parity visa. So UK is all about the money, really. The only
Gotcha.
reason why they would actually deny your student visa for UK is maybe your proof of fund is shaky. To be honest, that's the main reason I see they deny people for visa, student visa. If your proof of fund is UK, they don't play with the money. The money,
Okay.
they're all about the money.
So basically, oh,
And then when you apply, you have to pay your health surcharge fee. And when you pay your health surcharge, you pay your visa fee.
yeah.
And go for your biometrics. After your biometrics, just wait 3 weeks and they'll
Mhm.
reply you. And if your visa is denied based on any reason, they will return your health surcharge fee, but they
That's
will not
nice.
return your visa fee. But they will
That's
return your health
nice.
surcharge fee. So
Yeah.
this is how the visa application is.
So you paid that health surcharge fee like right at the time
You
of the
apply
visa.
for your
Yeah.
visa, yeah. And so, like the health surcharge fee is like your health insurance. So when it comes to the
Mhm.
UK, you can basically use the public health services for free. Not for free because you already paid for it, so it's not free anyway. So, but you can use it for free. Like you don't have to pay out of pocket for anything.
Should we just jump now that we said the talking about health surcharge? Should we just jump and talk about healthcare and like just
Yeah,
general amenities in the UK like versus
yeah. We can
here?
talk about healthcare,
Mhm.
transportation, and maybe job. So
Yeah.
in the UK, you're limited when you're sorry, in the UK when you're studying as an
Mhm.
international student, you're limited to the hours that like you can work. So you can only work 20 hours during term time and unlimited hours during non-term time. But please don't overwork yourself. Anyway, the 20 hours during term time makes sense because to be honest, you're doing education full time, part-time job, 20 hours doesn't make sense. Even
Yeah.
with that 20 hours, you still be stressed with your schoolwork. Like studying in the UK is not easy. Like it's difficult, it's daunting, it's stressful, like it's mentally draining. Anyway, so for some people it might not be that way, but for me, that's how I feel studying here in the UK is. And I mean, you're new to a different educational system. So please don't overwork yourself if you're an international student and you want to work. It's not worth it. During non-term time, you can literally work in short 50 hours a week. In short, don't even sleep, don't be working. You can literally do that. But when you're in school, I would just say stick to your 20 hours
Yeah.
during term and you can work anywhere, you can work any job, can basically do whatever you like when you're working. And after your studies, so the UK just reintroduced the 2 years post study visa. So I think when they saw that UK is not becoming like the number one
Attractive.
destination for international students, they introduced like a bit so that people will come back. So
Mhm.
they introduced the 2 years post study visa. So if you do your undergrad and your postgraduate, that's masters,
Yeah.
you get 2 years post study visa. If you do a PhD, you get 3 years post study visa. But the bad thing with this post study visa that most people don't know is that the post-study visa you get, either you get the 2 years or you get the 3 years post-study visa, does not count to your immigration route. So if maybe they said the 10 years route, which is basically through education, and let's say you spend 10 years in the UK studying, and out of that 10 years, even if 1 year was on a post-study visa,
Mhm.
your route has like your route is broken, it doesn't count. Like it doesn't count. It's just like a landing visa just for you to find job and to transition to another visa. It really
Yeah.
doesn't count. But there's a petition going around that the 2 years post visa should count to your immigration route. However, I don't think that will happen, to be very honest, because
Mhm.
I feel the 2 years post visa is just a clickbait for people to just come to the UK to study because again, Canada was becoming like number one study destination.
Everybody was called Canada now.
Yes, everybody just wants to Canada. And Canada, they don't want to pay years because they always
Exactly. Oh.
get
Okay.
the visa.
Yeah.
And
Ah.
you get to go back.
Mhm. I know the US though, like for like job opportunities like while studying, you can work 20 hours a week, while classes are going on, like you can only work on campus 20 hours a week. And maybe when there's no class, then you can now work off campus. In a related field, like there are some restrictions, but you can work up to 40 hours when during the holiday session on campus and off campus with the off campus part with some restrictions that your school would inform me about. And I know like there's actually like we call it OPT, so you're able to study for a year or up to 3 years if you're in the STEM field. So if you're in the non-STEM field, you can study up to a year after assess study. You can work up to a year after you've been in school. But if you're in the non-STEM field, you have like, what am I even saying? But if you're in a STEM field, you have this what they call STEM OPT, and you can extend it like a STEM OPT extension where you can, work after you've graduated for up to 3 years, and maybe your office will now sponsor you for like H-1B visa. This is like a work visa, and then maybe after like, depending on your field, if you're in healthcare or whatever field you are in, and then afterwards you can now, they can now sponsor you for like a green card. A lot of people, for them, it takes up to like 5 years or even more to get a green card in the US, because it's not always like easy. Green card is like this to become like a permanent resident. It's not always easy.
Yeah, I think we have that in the UK. The UK is called the LR, and I think the ILR. So that's indefinite leave to remain status.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have the indefinite leave to remain status in the UK, you have to hold that indefinite leave to remain status for 1 year.
Yeah.
And after you hold it for 1 year, you can then choose to apply for the British passport, the citizen, or you can
nice.
decide to stay on indefinite leave to remain, because indefinite leave to people with indefinite leave to remain and people with British citizen, they have the same rights. Like they have the same right. I think indefinite leave to remain status, you can't vote. I think you can't vote. I'm not really sure, but please don't take
government jobs?
I think that's the only thing you can't do. You can't vote.
What about government jobs?
You can do whatever you want on
That's
indefinite.
nice.
So what people do is, there are some countries where you're not allowed to have dual citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is, if they don't want to renounce their original citizenship from their home country, they just stay on indefinitely. And the good thing with indefinite leave to remain is, for instance, if you give birth on your indefinite leave to remain status, your child does not carry the indefinite leave to remain status. The child automatically becomes a citizen.
That's nice.
That's a good thing about the indefinite leave to remain status. So your child will be entitled to everything, like born, bred British. But the UK is funny that if you give birth to a child on any other visa apart from the indefinite leave to remain status, your child is not a citizen. And most people do not know that.
So even as you have, wait, what? I thought people go to the UK to give birth so that their children can be, or is that just for the US?
I think it's just US and Canada, to be really honest.
Are you serious? I'm hearing this.
If you give birth to a child on any visa, your child is not a citizen. Unless you give birth to a child on indefinite leave to remain status, then child automatically becomes a citizen.
Wow. So
unless the child unless you give birth to the child and one, like if you give birth to a child and one of that child's parents, that mom or the dad, is a citizen, then the child becomes a citizen, then the child becomes a citizen. But if you give birth to a child on a visa and none of you are citizens, your child will not be a citizen.
Wow.
Yep. So the child literally has to stay 10 years in the UK on a legal visa before the child can become a citizen. So if you have like a legal stay in the UK that spans up to 10 years, right? Your child would become a citizen automatically after 10 years. So
interesting, very interesting. What about, now that we're already talking about childcare, healthcare, what about like healthcare for students? How does it work in the UK?
Now, like when we were speaking earlier about visa application, things like that, I mentioned that you have to pay your health surcharge fee. So that health surcharge fee, I think, is about £710 for this year, because every year they review the fee. And I think they just reviewed the fee in April. So please don't take my word for it, but it's about £710. Go and check. For a year. So if you're giving a 1 year visa, you pay £710. If you're giving a 2 years visa, you have to pay £1,420. So the number of years you're giving times your health surcharge fee. So times the 710 for students. So it varies. So for students it's 710. For people coming on a work visa, it might be a different fee. For people coming on a work visa, if the occupation is on the shortage of occupation list, is another different fee. So it varies for different people. It varies. But if you're coming to this UK, unless you're coming on a visitor visa, every other visa, you have to pay the health surcharge fee. It's compulsory. So when you come, you can just use the healthcare system, like for the public healthcare now. If you go to private, you're on your own, no, because you have to pay. You're very on your own because private hospital. But I mean, why we go to private? The public health system is good, but it covers everything. But it doesn't cover for plastic surgery. If you want to look more vain, it doesn't cover for that.
They said it.
If you want to look vain, it doesn't cover. You have to pay out of pocket for that.
Yeah. Then
And for dental, if you can say maybe like, I want to have braces because my dentition is affecting my mental health, my, if you can say those triggering words, they give you braces for free. But it doesn't cover if you just want to look more vain and you don't know how to say it. Even if you want plastic surgery to look vain and you can prove it's affecting your health in one way or the other, your mental
Yeah.
health, you look as vain as you want a plastic
I'm
surgery.
coming to you. Expect me soon. I'm coming
There
there.
was this story about this woman that they actually called her out for actually using the public health service to look vain. And the woman was like, it's not her fault they believe that things were affecting her mental health and they did the plastic surgery for her. She got like a nose, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm like, people of God.
No,
She
wow.
actually said it on live TV that she actually said the triggering words to look more like, to achieve a vainness and not to pay for the. She actually said it on TV. I think I'll share the link with you. I said it on live TV. I think it's ITV or Good Morning UK. Or one of
Watch it. Yeah.
She literally said it on TV that she just told them that she couldn't breathe because of the crookedness of her nose. Only Roshi. The plastic surgery for her to get the perfect nose that can make her breathe.
Oh wow. See,
So I think that's the way people cheat the system, but I feel it's unfair because you just want to look vain. It's not affecting your health in any way.
I feel like from our conversations, even previous conversation, you know that I'm passionate about this healthcare thing because I feel like they're ripping us off in the US. Because first of all, you pay like what in a year. My when I was an international student, luckily being a graduate assistant, it covered some part of that. But at the same time, I still paid like no, not I. The school paid most of it for me then. I paid some parts myself, but out of pocket I still paid around like 650 to 700. Can't remember the exact amount. And and the school was covering like 70%. So you can imagine how much the insurance was. Even one of my friends is paying like $2,100, like $2,100 per year for health insurance that you still have to pay some copay. They have one terminology, copay, something coverage. I don't even know what it means. That you will still be the one to cover some things out of pocket. Maybe if and now,
But in the UK, the only thing is if you're given a prescription,
yeah,
you have to pay. I think I can't remember how much. Please don't take my word for it, but I think it's like £9 per prescription. So if they give you a prescription and there are like 7 drugs, so just 9 times 7. I don't know if you get what I mean. If you just you only pay £9 for that one. Please, I'm not sure if prescription is £9, so don't take my word for it. And when they give prescription, you go to the pharmacy and you say, I wanted on YouTube that was £9. I'm just using £9 for it.
disclaimer.
I've not ever had. And again, so because I had my son, so I'm entitled to free prescription. So if you give birth to your child, and I think any child that is not above the age of 18, again, don't take my word for it. Please do your research. But I think if you're not if you're not over 18 years old,
Yeah.
your prescription is for free. So you just collect free drug. But if you give birth to a child during your pregnancy and when you give birth 1 year after you give birth to your child, so until your child is 1 year, the mom is entitled to free prescription. I think on the child is 18 years, is also entitled, he or she's also entitled. Please, that 18 years old, don't take my word for it. Do your research. But I am sure of the mom's own, so you can take my word for the mom's own. Yeah, so you get free like prescription.
So still on the topic, like, is it easy to get around? Like in terms of transportation, like how easy is it to move around?
Oh, okay. I think that's one of the things I like the UK for. Yeah, I think like the bus services is quite good. So you really don't need to have a car to move around in the UK.
Nice.
Like for myself, I don't have a car. My partner does not have a car. We don't have cars, but because it's easy and we live in the city, so it's very easy. You just get the bus ticket and
Yeah.
just get around. And you know the UK, for those of you who don't know, I think I like to say this a lot. I think in all my YouTube videos, I say this a lot. To say for those of you who don't know, the UK consists of 4 countries. So for those of you who don't know on this channel, the UK consists of 4 countries: Scotland, England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Now you can literally take a train from England to Scotland. I can take a train from Scotland to England. That's how good the transportation system is. Now,
Yeah.
I live in Manchester. I can take a train from Manchester to London for like, I think it will like be like 2 hours, 10 minutes. I'm in London, and I've gone to London that day. Like in a day, I've gone to London, and I came back to Manchester that same day. So I left Manchester to London, and London to Manchester same day. Like easy to move around with the train system. Easy to move around. The train is very convenient, safe, cameras everywhere. Even our Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he used to take the train. There was a video of him going around that he was almost late for the train. And that train is a respecter of no man. If you miss it like this, you miss it. Like if they say the train is about, if they say the train is 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
I get there 10 o'clock because if you get there 0.1 second after 10 o'clock, you're not gonna miss the train. You miss the train, and once you miss the train, that's bad that ticket. So all those African time, you don't be paying money to the public transportation service here in the UK. That be early to the train station. So if Boris Johnson can almost miss his train and the train did not wait for him, who are you to who are you to
Oh,
delay the train? But the train is always on time, always
yeah.
on schedule. Like
Nice.
I think from Manchester to London, there are like maybe in a day there are like maybe 5 to 7 trains going from Manchester to London, like maybe every 2 hours or every 3 hours. And you can literally take the train from any other state to any other state in the UK. The train is good. The bus service is awesome. The bus comes after
Yeah.
every 5 minutes, depending on where you live. Sometimes um after every 10 to 15 minutes. Now in the evening, now in the evenings, the trains are a bit delayed because I mean, where are you going to in the evening? Like, where are you going to? So trains are always delayed. Like it might come maybe after every 30 minutes. So the public system is quite good.
Very good.
It's quite good. And Uber is very expensive, yeah. Very expensive. Uber
So
is expensive. But some people are big boys. Actually those black taxis in London. Hey Lele, if you like yourself, avoid those taxis.
they'll charge you.
Those taxis, you can take like a 10 minutes ride and you can spend like £40 on a 10 minutes ride. I
Why
kid you
not?
not. Those black taxis in London, if you find yourself in London, see those black taxis in the movies that used to attract people. Run away. Better run away. Those black taxis.
Yeah. I think you need to tell
And
people
you see them, they always wait for you in front of the train station, in front of the airport. You see them everywhere. Mini like bugs everywhere. Run away from those taxis. But anyway, if you have money, some of you have money now.
yeah,
If you have money.
spend that money if you have it. That's why you have the money now. Spend it, okay?
So,
Let them call you to
and
spend
like
it.
for cultural adaptation, like adapting to the UK is quite easy to be very honest. Because I mean, they speak. I think I have a video on my channel where I talk about why I chose studying the UK. So
Mhm.
another reason I chose studying the UK is because I mean it's an English speaking country. Now I'm not the kind of person to study in a country where they don't speak English. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not. I think I'm too peaceful to find myself in a situation where you can't understand me, I can't understand you. The argument is becoming heated on unnecessary things. Nah, I think I'm not the one to study in a country where like they don't speak English. But for holidays, I mean, can't get into trouble within 2 to 3 days in a country they don't speak English. So
Yeah.
I'm fine for holidays, but studying, I would actually pick a country where they speak English. And again, the weird thing in this UK is the weather is cold and they like cold food, cold cheese, cold meat, cold everything. And in Nigeria, the weather is hot and we like hot food, hot rice, hot amala. So I think that and for time zone, UK and Nigeria, we're on the same time zone. But during winter, UK
That
is
I'm
like
done
an
with
hour
that.
behind because it's always dark. So right now we're in summertime. Summertime is the same time as you as Nigeria, but we're just an hour behind.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
that's
think
good.
that's it really
Yeah.
for
For you
cultural
to
adaptation.
So yeah, and I know like for like just cultural adaptation and all, I think transition to the US ultimately depends on even where you are. Like, is it a predominantly white area or north? Like, what type of person are you? Because I mean, English, of course, is like the general is the official language and native language of the US. So like, if you're from an English-speaking country, it will definitely be easy for you to transition. But there's still like different accents, so some you might not fully understand some accents, and then some people might not fully understand your accent. So that might be some type of barrier. But for the most part you'll be good to go. And then like in terms of like time zone, weather, I really can't say. It ultimately depends on where you are. But if you're in some parts of the country, like maybe California, Arizona, like, where it's like typically hot there, extreme heat. If you're from like a hot climate, it will be something that you can try to get used to. But this where I am, I don't even know honestly. Like the weather changes like chameleon. There's usually like 4 seasons. Like we have winter, we have summer, we have fall, we have spring. So every city, let me say every state is different, every region is different. So I really can't fully be like, oh, this is how it's going to be exactly. But some parts are very cold where you'll be freezing like this, and some parts it's very hot. And then even within the US, there are different time zones. We have like PST, CST, EST.
And I think the UK is not like that. The UK, we have one time zone, and when it comes to weather, we say UK weather is a plague because it can be raining now, and then you go out and it's sunny. It can be sunny and you go out and it's raining. But yes, we typically have 4 seasons, and those 4 seasons are very vivid. Like it's obvious when it's this season, you will know it's that season. So for example, when it's winter, you will know it's winter because it's extremely windy, cold, and a bit of snow. When it's summer, it will be hot, but the hotness itself needs to reach like maybe 30 degrees. So it shall be hot, and when it's like autumn, you know it's
Celsius, right?
I don't even know which one is Fahrenheit. I don't even know why.
Because when you said 30 degrees, I feel like I've been preconditioned to the US. So I said 30 degrees, I'm like 30 degrees is not hot. That's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, using Celsius or using Fahrenheit.
Yeah. So winter is actually okay. Well, okay. In the UK, like the 4 seasons are obvious. So winter is quite cold. It will be windy, raining, and a bit of snow, slippery. I think they used to pour this. Is it salt or sand? I don't even know which is it, but they pour it on the floor so that you don't sleep. So they do that. And if it's autumn, you know it's autumn because everywhere will just be yellow. All the leaves will just be yellow and be falling down. You will know it's autumn. And it will be cold. Now, when it's spring, you will know it's spring because you start seeing all the flowers blossoming and it will be a bit warm. And when it's summer, even the heat it's not hot as Nigeria, but it's hot to them. You start wearing pants and bra everywhere. But anyway, let's continue. When it's summer, you will know it's summer because you see the sun. But that day summer does not mean rain will not fall or it will not be cold. Though. There's summer needs to reach. I think the highest I've seen in their summer maybe like 28 degrees.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen. So that's it. But those 4 seasons are very I think in Nigeria we just have 2 seasons. Raining and dry. That's the only thing we have. I don't think we have summer and all those things. I think in Nigeria it's either hot or it's cold.
Yeah. I know in the US, like transportation, when you mention transportation, I think something that stood out to me is just like the ease. I think depending on the state you're in or the city you're in the US, like it could be easy, it could be difficult. For instance, now I'm in Columbus and I ultimately had to of course they have a good bus system, right? But nonetheless, it's just not the easiest. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a weird situation where there's a bus system, but
sorry to cut you, but I think in the UK, if you want to have a car, get ready to pay a lot of things because you pay road tax, car insurance, that
I'm not ready for. I mean, yeah, it's expensive to get a car. But at the same time, you can pay instrumentally. They have this credit system here in the US.
In the UK, there's something that's the bigger your car, that's the same way your tax will be, I kid you not. Like Tesla in the UK is considered luxury, so the tax is higher than other cars. Okay, there are some electric cars in the UK that the tax are lower because they're not they're good for the environment, those climate change and stuff. But Tesla is actually an electric car, but it's considered a luxurious electric car. So tax is higher, like a Range Rover, a Land Rover, because it consumes space. And UK, they like shuku things. So the smaller the car, the better for you.
But now, we actually did not talk about tax, but we're just going to summarize that. But my question is like for the taxes, do you pay tax as an international student? Even if you get a car, maybe you're rich enough and boxed up enough to get a car, will you still pay
To be honest,
tax?
even as a non-international student, I don't have a car, so I can't answer that question because I don't know
Oh,
the taxes on cars and everything. But I know in the UK, there are a whole
yeah.
lot of tax. We have council tax. So unless you're working, not
Mm-hmm.
unless you're working, everybody pay council tax apart from students. So if you're a student,
Mm,
automatically you're exempted from council tax. But once you're done with your study, you start to pay council tax. So we
yeah.
have council tax, we have income tax. International students do not pay income tax because they think you cannot earn above 15,000 something pounds. Please check. Don't take my word for it, but I know it's about above 16,000 pounds. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't earn above 16,000 pounds as an international student. If you do, please come and tell me how you did it. But
They're calling people out.
there's no the possibility of earning above 16,000 pounds as an international student during your studies.
Yeah.
Slim gone. But if you do, please DM me and let me know. I promise I'll not reveal your name. I'll just share to my audience. But the possibility is lean. And again, international students are not entitled to benefit. Even on the work visa, are not entitled to benefit, but you still pay income tax. But anyway,
Yeah.
for international students, you don't pay income tax because you're not entitled to benefit and because the government deems that you cannot earn above 16,000 something pounds share
Mm-hmm.
in a year. So that's why you don't pay income tax. And then we have road tax in the UK. I don't know how that road tax works, but I know if you have car,
Hey,
you
you
pay
need to
that.
maintain your
So
road.
council tax basically is just to maintain the council. So council is like local government in Nigeria. So you
Yeah.
maintain roads, you call them out if your roads are bad. Like,
Mm.
that's what council is. And again, you pay like that's when you start doing proper job. You pay like I think NIN and
Yeah.
yes. And again, if you buy anything in the UK, you pay 20% VAT.
But
I don't know
oh,
why.
I mean, I see some similarities, but still some differences because as an international student, if you earn money, there's no how you pay. If there's city tax, you pay it. If there's state tax, you pay it. But and you also have to pay federal tax. You pay all sort of taxes as an international student. You're not exempted unless maybe your country has some sort of treaty with the US, and I don't fully know how that works. But as per Nigerians now,
There are some
most
things that even if like there are some things that even if they say your country is exempted, you just don't want headache that you just do it because if your country is not exempted and you see your country is exempted and when the thing comes out to bite in your bum bum, you will not like it though. Because these people you can do something like maybe 5 years ago. The day to come back for you,
it will be crazy. They
there
will
was
not
one
do it for you. You
there
will
was
not.
one
It will not even get to your account. Like they would have removed it for you already.
apart from that, there was one nurse in the UK. I saw the video on YouTube. She didn't pay like the train ticket. I think the train ticket was 17 pounds 30 pence or so. It was just not up to 20 pounds sharp.
Yeah.
That was the train ticket she didn't pay. And literally when she was reviewing her license to be a nurse, it came up and then they had to put her license on hold. She had to go and defend her. Lori, 17 pounds. And that was like 4 years ago or something. She didn't pay and
Wow.
then they cut her 17 pounds. And
Wow.
UK, one thing you don't want is you don't want any criminal records
Mm-hmm.
because once you have that thing like this, that's the end of you. Like unless if you're a millionaire or you're a millionaire's child or if you want to hustle and transition to the UK become a British citizen and you have criminal record, that's the end of that dream. Like forget forget British citizen, forget visa, forget anything. Once you have a criminal record like this, because
Mm-hmm.
anything you want to do, they'll be asking you, do you have any criminal record? If you can say yes like this, the question they will ask you, the
Wow.
question you just like, okay, I think this is the and again at the end of the day, they'll still deny you for some reason
Wow.
because if you have criminal record, you can't work with children, you can't work with
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable people, you can't work with money. Like you literally cannot even breathe safe. So what is that the use of staying in the UK? So please, whatever you do, even if it's £1,
Mm-hmm.
please tax. If you're not sure your country is exempted from something, your country is not exempted, better you do it and then they now tell you, oh, you're exempted,
Yeah.
and you now say your country is exempted and it's not exempted. Oh, and there's the year, sorry. There's the year I do not know. That's what I didn't like about. I don't like about UK. This year I did not know. It
Or
was
like ignorance. Ignorance is not an excuse
it's not
because you
an
have
excuse.
all the information.
It's not an excuse.
Wow, that's
And
interesting though. To like kind of see that difference. But I know in the US they can still be lenient in some aspects if you have a criminal, what type of criminal record or whatever, when you're doing all those your maybe non-immigrant or immigrants like
I always
visa.
do that, but to be honest, once you have a criminal record, that's the end of you.
Yeah.
But the good thing is there are some criminal record that go away after some
Mm-hmm.
like after 20 years.
Yeah. Too long, yeah. I thought you were going to say like 3 years or something. I said 20. I'm like,
No, like maybe after like wait, I don't know, Sha, please don't take my word for it, but it goes away after some years. But
yeah.
it's definitely not less than 5 years. I'm sure it's definitely not less than 10 because UK they're not linear. The only thing I know UK is linear on when it comes to money. To collect your money like this, they have
Bring
anything
it,
you
bring
want,
it.
collect your money.
Yeah.
But once you
True.
have criminal record like this, oh my man, they
Yep.
can deny you visa. You literally that's the end of you. Like there's so many things you can't do.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like there are other things that we could talk about if we wanted to continue talking, but like I think it's time to kind of wrap up and end this video so that it's not excessively long. And if you would like to even learn more, or maybe you can go back to our channel to learn more about everything related to UK, or you can stay here on my channel to continue to learn about everything US related. But as we conclude, right? I mean, ultimately, after this our bantering back and forth, and after this conversation, like, do you think studying in the UK is like easier and better, or you're like,
Honestly, like I said,
mhm.
everything depends on your. Okay, not like I said. Let me say it again. When it comes to when it comes to choosing a study destination, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing like hard or easy because every good
mm.
thing in life comes with hard work.
Hmm.
It all depends on your personal circumstances. I don't know. People say I like saying this word. Anytime somebody asks you, I say, you have to check your personal circumstances. Like, what's my personal circumstances? Like, you just have to check what works for you. Like, you just have to check what works for you.
Yeah.
For instance, for me, healthcare was one of the major reasons I chose the UK because I do have an underlying health condition, which I've mentioned earlier, where
Mhm.
I need medical care and I don't want to check BC, low medical care. So that's one of the reasons why UK was like number one for
Mhm.
me. Now, if you don't need medical care or you feel you are a Jagaban, you're not gonna fall sick, you can go to US or any other country. Now, as I said, you need to check what really works for you. And then for me, I think when I was just doing my admission process, the university I chose was one of the best in the field I was going for. So that made my decision. So those two things were basically what I really considered
Mhm.
in picking a study destination.
Yeah.
So but basically, for me, I would say the UK is more like is easier because of my personal circumstances and how studying in the UK fits to my lifestyle and my life in general. So that's how I would say the UK. Now, for you, for Esther might say, oh, the US is better for her because the US fits into her personal circumstances. I know she actually studied in the US for free. So, that saved her a whole lot of money. So
Mhm.
people I think your personal circumstances really just matters a lot. What would really work for you? Like what will really work for you? Not what people say will work for you. What will really work for you? Like so there are people who have underlying medical health care and they are boxed up, they have the money, when they have them in the US, they can pay that money. And they like US and they like their course in US, like and they will just go for US. So to me, it really depends on your personal circumstances. And because I've gone through the UK process, and again, when I was choosing my study destination, I actually studied visa process, admission process of Canada, Australia, and the US and the UK.
Yeah.
Eventually, I picked Canada and UK. Canada did not just give me admission. Maybe I'd have been in Canada by now. But yeah, they didn't give me visa admission. So it was visa they didn't give me, but they gave me study admission, like to come and
Mm.
study give me admission. But visa, they did not give me visa. Or so maybe I would have been in Canada because Canada also like fits into Actually, for Canada, I said they didn't even have my course that I wanted to do. Why I wanted to choose Canada is because of their PR. Because it was easy to become a citizen. Because in the UK, choosing to study abroad, I also wanted to, drop my Nigerian passport and pick another passport.
To leave Nigeria alone.
So that was another reason I chose to study abroad. And Canada could afford me that, as in it's easy to get PR in Canada than indefinitely to remain here in the UK. But because it's not giving me visa in Canada, I chose UK. And in Canada, I don't have to generally say for healthcare. So I think you just have to like weigh your personal circumstances, really. Yeah. And I really understood Canada's immigration system and UK immigration system because I knew I wanted to stay back. UK, even till now, I don't understand it. So I guess maybe US till now I don't understand it, like, and I don't think I can ever understand it. Like I do not understand immigration. So if you want to stay back, I think before you even choose to study, look at the immigration system process and see which one you understand very well, because these things can be very, very, very confusing. So the one you know your brain can carry, that's what you should go for.
Okay. I like that. I like this concluding aspect because I mean you've given a lot and I don't really have much to add. Like everything she said, literally, like they're great words of wisdom. Ensure that you do your due diligence, like you do your diligence search, make research. You're talking about how you don't fully understand the US system, and for me, the US system was more appealing to me. I understood it better. Maybe I don't know why I fell in love with it. Maybe because, of course, you said personal circumstances. My partner, was already here, so I was like, it was just like a kind of like a no-brainer.
I'm sure he has been talking about those immigration laws and things like that, and you're already familiar with it.
Yeah, so kind of like I was like, let me just do this, and I looked up schools, did a bunch of things, and figured it out. So,
and at the end of the day, everything aligns to what you wanted.
Exactly. Personally,
that's what I said. It really has to do with you personally. Because you say, oh, come to UK, 2 years post-study visa, and then you realize that 2 years post-study visa does not even count to immigration. I'd be like, what do I even come here to do again? Why would I come to Canada and things like that? So please do your own personal research, because when people say, oh, tell me where to go to, I'm like, I can't tell you where to go to. I'm not living your life for you. Like, I can just tell you why I chose the UK, and Esther can tell you why she chose the US, and then you can now think of, oh, okay, this makes sense. At the end of the day, Seth might not choose US or UK, it might be Australia or maybe Kotangora you can choose.
Exactly, because
it really depends on you. But at least this video would help you like kind of compare the two, I guess.
Yep.
And then pick one.
Yeah, so you know what? Actually, we're at the end of this video for today. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Irewande. It was a pleasure conversing with Ilya. I'll go check her out. There'll be a link in the description box. You can just check out. I'm going to tag her. You can just simply click on that tag. And of course, I remain your wonderful, your ever amiable girl. But thanks for clicking to watch, and if you stay to the end of this video, kudos to you. Okay, kudos and comments. All right. Ow, my hand. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to our channels. Okay, and have a wonderful rest of your week or weekend, whichever time you're watching. Bye.